Welcome to the first video news sit-down. Here we are with the manager of Prestige Worldwide, MBT. MB, welcome and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. First thing I'd like to do is thank our sponsor, Propel Zero, for making this possible.
All right. Now, there's been a lot of controversy from the start with your team. Your team was the worst team last year, and now they're currently ranked number 1. Do you agree with the power rankings? Do you think that you're really the best team in the league with a 1-1 record?
We've got a lot of work to do. We're just taking the 1 week at a time approach. So far, we're pleased with the progress we've made, but there's still a lot to be done. Unfortunately, our team was dealt a devastating blow last week when Jamal Charles was placed on injured reserve. He will miss the rest of the season. This was our first round draft pick. This was our franchise player. We now have to go with a running back by committee approach. Fortunately, we were able to get some help from the waiver wire this past week. We signed Ben Tate to a contract. With the Arian Foster injury, we like our chances inserting him into the lineup, at least for the short term. However, we project that within the next couple of weeks, Foster will be completely healthy, and we'll have to look at alternative options, which we have stashed a couple other backup running backs on our bench. We really reworked our bench, which we felt we were lacking in basically at every position. So we retooled a little bit. After 2 weeks, we analyzed, and some players weren't producing. We brought some new players on who we think can help us going forward. But really, there's no answer for when you lose Charles. How do you pick up a guy like that? Could you trade? Yeah, you could trade. But we love our receivers. Our strength is at the quarterback position, and with Greg Jennings, Mike Wallace, Kenny Britt, we love our receiving corps. Those guys have been great for us. We, at this time, are not looking to trade one of those assets in order to replace that running back situation. We just think that would wash everything. And really, we want to stay strong with that position, and we'll do what we can at the running back. In a nutshell, that is my long explanation for where Prestige Worldwide stands at this moment in time.
Definitely a devastating injury, something that's not only going to affect your team, but the fan base and everything altogether. So looking forward, you speak to a strengthening your quarterback and wide receiver core. Who would you say is now the face of your team? Who's your potential MVP going forward? Is there one? Who's going to carry this team when your team needs to be uplifted the most on a Sunday? Who do you look for as your current MVP with Charles gone?
It's got to be Drew Brees. We selected this player in the second round. It was a move that was criticized a little bit at the time of the draft selection. Mm-hmm. Looking back, great move. Glad that we got him where we did. It gives us assurance at that position every week. You know, he's good for 25 plus every week. Granted, there'll probably be a few exceptions, but he's wonderful, and clearly he's going to get a lot of points for us during the season.
Okay, final question. You look at a lot of the teams in the league, you see, 2 weeks is not, granted, a long time to be able to possibly survey teams. We've seen lots of teams score 150 in 1 week and 90 in the next week, and vice versa. So with your self-admitting that you don't think your team really is necessarily the best in the league right now, who do you think is a team to be feared? Do you think the City Loves My Pork has gone under the radar, as a lot of people have thought? Do you think that there is a team that everyone needs to watch out for more so than the rest?
I think that there are some teams, especially, maybe look at some of those 1-1 teams out there. They didn't put up the consistent points. I realize through 2 weeks, Prestige Worldwide has done a great job of equal balance. You also have to realize the sample size, it's 2 weeks. I think that once you get to week 4, after week 4, you have a really good idea as to who your good teams are. So you have some teams that started out hot the first couple weeks doesn't necessarily mean that trend is going to continue. You have some people that maybe ranked 6 to 10 right now. If you're ranked 9th or 10th and you're having a hard time putting up 100 points every week, chances are...
Is there a team, though? Is there a team that you think...
I look to, City Loves My Pork, PPM. These teams have pretty good rosters, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if they catapulted to the top of the power rankings in time.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate having Prestige Worldwide's head coach here with us here on Video News.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.